So what do I want? Well, what is it that you want? Once you get really clear. So if you're thinking sports goals, I want you to write down everything that you want from this year. From your sport, I want you to think everything that you want from your life. I want you to think everything that you want from your relationships. I want you to think everything that you want from your health. I want you to think everything that you want to try something new. I want you to write down everything that you want from adventures. Everything, okay? Get really, really clear. Because if we're not clear about what we want, then we can't go after it. We drift along. Welcome to the Tiffany Mika podcast. What we do here is build the strength and courage in you to accomplish your big dreams and goals in your sport. No longer will you feel limited. You won't feel you're not good enough. You won't question whether you will make it. Those doubts will disappear because you will have the competitive edge over your opponents and leave them in your wake. And the bonus is others will notice. Listen up and take notes because I will show you exactly how to do it. Hey there, this is Tiff from Tiffany Mika podcast and welcome to today's episode. You know, it's taken me actually a little bit longer to get this GPS week up and happening the way that I ideally wanted it to. It just took me a little bit longer to record the videos, edit them and so on. So anyway, here we go. You know, it's great to have a goal, isn't it? But sometimes it takes a little bit longer to piece it all together, which is, you know, a prime example of what's actually happened here. But you'll be hearing over the next few days, especially this next week, all the videos that I've recorded for GPS week. Now, if you do want to actually see the video and also get a download sheet, worksheet that you can actually work through for each episode, then make sure that you go to tiffanymika.com/GPS week because you just register there and then it's all free and you can get the download sheets as well because I'd love you to actually be putting things into action. I don't actually record these just so that you can listen to them. I want to make sure that you're actually taking action and you're actually out there accomplishing your big dreams and your big goals in your sport and your life. So what I want you to listen to today, we're talking about getting clear. A lot of people really struggle with getting really clear. You would have heard the previous episode, I was talking about planning your decade. Okay, we've done that. I've given you plenty of time, like you've virtually had a whole week to work on that one. Now it's really knuckling down and getting set for this year. Doesn't matter how long it takes, the planning is crucial. The planning and success will be in the detail that you provide for yourself. So I'm giving you every opportunity to be able to do that. So as I said, today is all about getting clear. And if you want to download the worksheet for this episode, make sure that you go to tiffanymika.com/GPS week. But let's get on with it. It's time to start planning, setting goals so that we can actually accomplish them. Enjoy today's episode. Hey, Tiff here. Well, we're going to be starting officially the GPS week round 1. So what we're going to be working on today is getting really clear on what it is that we actually are going to do. I'm going to show you behind the scenes of me actually shooting this GPS week, the masterclass, for how to get your very clear on what you want to accomplish, but how you actually going to achieve your goals in your life as well. Beautiful day. It's not raining, so that's pretty cool. This is the view out on the back. That's why I wanted to bring you out to the back so that we can, if you look through the trees over there. You can see the water. Lovely gum trees. This time of the year, they always shed their bark, so that we get lots of bark on the ground there. That's our view. So I wanted to share this with you. Anyway, so what we're going to be doing here is GPS week, as you can see, round 1, ding ding. Or you can be thinking of it, I'm going to explain it more like a tournament. I'm just going to set this camera up here so that we're going to be good to go, so that we can start shooting GPS week round 1. Okay, so are we ready? Okay, so are we ready? We're behind the scenes, getting ready to shoot GPS week. Remember, you're getting this for free, so take advantage of it. I want you to make sure that you really plan out what you want to accomplish, okay? So below this video, you'll actually see there'll be a download. Each video that you're actually going to get for GPS week, throughout this week, you're actually going to get a download so that you actually can fill it in. Because remember, we want to be getting clear, okay? So this is the plan of what we're going to be doing right now. Getting clear. So I'm going to fire some questions at you. Now, as you can see, mine's all written out, but you're actually going to have a lovely download down below so that you can actually fill it out, okay? Now, question 1. What I want you to really get clear about, so round 1, I better put get clear. It's very important that we are very clear on what we're doing, isn't it? So round 1, get clear. Hope you can read that. It's not as thick as the other one, but that's what we're going to be doing, okay? All right, so we're getting clear. So what I want you to do for question 1, what I want you to do is write out that's better. What do I want? So what we're thinking about right now is getting really clear about what we actually want for this year. Okay, I don't want you to be thinking in, future years or anything like that. I want you to just be thinking about what you want just for this year. Okay, it's a really simple thing to do. And what I'd like you to do is put some music on. If you don't want to do this while we're actually talking, it's probably best that you don't while we're going through this. But put some music on in the background when you download the sheet, and then you start filling it out, okay? So what do I want? Well, what is it that you want? Once you get really clear. So if you're thinking sports goals, I want you to write down everything that you want from this year. From your sport, I want you to think everything that you want from your life. I want you to think everything that you want from relationships. I want you to think everything that you want from your health. I want you to think everything that you want to try something new. I want you to write down everything that you want from adventures, everything, okay? Get really, really clear, because if we're not clear about what we want, then we can't go after it. We drift along, okay? So I'll give you some examples of some things that I want this year, just so that it gets you to start thinking. So I want to be a personal development leader. I don't want to be just the average Joe Blow. I want to be Brendan Bouchard, Tony Robbins. I want to be right up there, okay? So I don't want to be just anyone. I want to be really having a huge impact on people. I want to have a huge impact on you. Another thing, I want to be a sought-after speaker throughout the world. So I want to be going around the world, speaking on stage, motivating you into accomplishing your big dreams in your sport, in your life. Because if you don't take the action, if you don't do the work, you're not going to get what you want, okay? So it's another thing that I want to be doing is impacting your life. I want to establish the No Limits Academy. So there's a No Limits Academy that I'm actually going to be launching very soon. So it's just around the corner. But that's another big thing that I want from this year. I've got a Get Focus program that's going to be released after GPS week. So if you want to gain more focus, I'll talk to you about that later on at the end of the week. I want to go on ski holidays. I'm turning a new age this year, so I want to go and celebrate that. I want to go away with my husband, do adventures. I want to add more adventure to my life. I found that last year the plan was to add adventure, but I didn't do it. So I've listed out everything, okay? So I just want that so that makes you think about what you got to do, okay? So we've listed out what we want. Number 2. This one is going to get you to really think about it. So I want my biggest obstacles. So why am I putting that in? Because it's like, come on, Tiff, aren't we just like, we just plan out what we want and then we just put things in place and make that happen? Well, yeah, we do that, but we also need to identify what our biggest obstacles are, okay? Because if we're not aware of what the obstacles are, when we encounter an obstacle, we can't work through it, okay? So obstacles, oops, it's not a G, is it? It's a C. So number 2, we have to outline what our biggest obstacles are. So if you've got this big dream for your sport, what you actually want to accomplish, you've got this big dream for your life, what you want to accomplish, there's going to be some obstacles in the way as well. So if you have a big plan of representing your country this year in your sport, what are some big obstacles? You mightn't even have a national ranking yet, you know. You may not be winning any matches that you play. You may not be qualifying for the big events. What are the obstacles? You may not be training hard enough. You may not have a very good training program. List it out. You may not be motivated. You may not be motivated to actually do anything about it, even though you want it, but you may not want to do it. So your biggest obstacle might be actually being motivated to actually do it. We've got to find what's holding you back, okay? So some examples for me, like my biggest obstacles, well, I want to be, you know, this great personal development leader, but I'm not speaking anywhere. Just launched my book, Focus, How to Reach Your Potential in Sport, Business and Life. But I've got to do more to promote that. I've got to build programs and develop myself as a personal development leader. I've got to develop my skills in speaking. I've got to develop skills in marketing who I am. I've got to develop skills in my brand, building my brand. There's lots of things, right? So what you've got to do here is you've got to identify what your biggest obstacles are, okay? So you can see how what I'm doing here in this training is I'm getting you to really think about what it is that you've got to do. Number 3. So we've identified our biggest obstacles. Into number 3, what we want to do here is we want to actually identify what our end of year reality is. End of year reality. So do you want to be in the same position that you are right now in your life? No, I know I don't. End of year reality. What is it that you actually want to have accomplished at the end of this year? You've written out what you want. You've written out what your biggest obstacles are. Okay, let's make it happen. Let's write it out what you actually want to have at the end of this year. Don't worry about how you're going to do it yet. We'll work through that this week. But what I want you to do is, I want you to actually get clear on what you actually want to accomplish at the end of this year. Okay? We'll be working through how you can what you've got to accomplish at the end of the quarter as well. So you're getting really clear on what it is that you want to do. Okay? So we've got to get that out. So what are some things that, I'll give you some examples from me, just so that it helps you think about what it is that you want. So I want to be a personal development leader, well-known personal development leader, out speaking on stages around the world, getting booked for speaking engagements. No Limits Academy, it's taking off. Get Focus programs, taking off, making big inroads, really impacting women girls, teenage girls, in accomplishing their big dreams in their sport, in their business, in their life, not just sport. As much as I talk about sport a lot, sport is a great analogy for life and business. So I'm heavily into that too. So there's all of that I want to accomplish, right? But I have to write it out so I know I'm really clear about what it is that I want to accomplish. So that's what you have to do. So the question number one was, what do I want? Question number two is, what are my biggest obstacles? Question three is, okay, I know what I want and I know what my biggest obstacles are. What's my end of year reality? If your biggest obstacle is right now for you is going, oh, Tiff, I just can't get motivated, then maybe your end of year reality is like, I'm super motivated. We'll work out how you're going to do that later, right? If your biggest obstacle is that you want to represent your country in your sport and you want to do that by the end of the year, write it out. Don't be afraid. Don't have any limits. It's really important we have no limits, because the limits that we put on ourselves are the things that actually hold us back, okay? Remember that. So get it out, okay? Number 4. So we've actually put down our end of year reality. Number 4, we're starting to get a bit more clear for these next few months now. So here we are at the beginning of the quarter. So we want the end of quarter. Now we can go end of quarter reality or reality. We can call it outcomes. We can also call it, especially if you're a sports person, results, because that's what we're always after, aren't we? Results. Now notice that we're actually predicting, right? We're predicting of what we've accomplished at the end of the quarter, and we're still at the beginning of the quarter. That's a different way of looking at it. So we're not thinking about, let me say it this way. When we're thinking about goals, it's like, I want to be a personal development leader. I want to be, the number one sports person in the world. I want to be, sorry, the camera just dropped out. I want to be the highest paid sports person in the world. Right? So that's what we want. And that's good to have a goal, right? And I want you to be thinking goal, but I want you to be thinking of what are the actual results though? So that's the ultimate goal, but what are the results? You're the highest paid sports person in the world and you're earning X amount of dollars from, Nike, for example. Nike, obviously, they sponsor the big athletes, right? What's the contract that you've got? Get really specific, right? Does that make sense? You want to be specific. So what we want to do here is we want to be specific on what our end of quarter results actually are, right? So we've got our end of year reality, so that's also our results of what we actually have achieved, because we're looking into the future. Now we've got end of quarter reality, end of quarter results, end of quarter outcomes, however you want to look at it. Now we want to write that out. See how we're starting to break it down? So we've gone from what we want throughout the year, what our biggest obstacles are, what our end of year reality is, and now we've gone to the end of quarter results. We're starting to break it down, okay? So what we want to do is list it out. So I'm going to give you some examples again, so this just helps you. So for example, my No Limits Academy is launched and I've got clients. Get Focus programs launched and I've got clients in that. My body weight is 63 kilos, carrying a little bit after, Christmas, especially New Year. Read 3 books. I want to have speaking engagements booked at schools and businesses. I want to play a song, full song with the guitar. I can play the guitar, but, I get a little bit slack with it, and I'd like to be able to play a full song with that. Plan adventures. I've got these 3 words that I actually live by: is energy, adventure and passion, but I'm not doing anything adventurous at the moment. So I want to make sure that I'm, planning some adventures for the end of each month, actually. So I want to have at least 3 adventures, big adventures that I've done in this quarter. I want to also, some other things. I've got to record my book. I've got to put it on audio. I haven't done that yet, so I want to make sure that I do that. I teach golf still. I've got online golf programs that I want to actually just tidy up and put back on my website. Fueling the body. There's a lot of things that I want to work with athletes and help them fuel their body better, and and play some more golf. Play some more golf and shoot, 2 under par this quarter. Got a bigger goal for later on, but that gives you an example, okay? So it's getting really, really clear on what we're doing, aren't we? See how we're breaking it down. So what we're going to do now is we've broken it down. And again, don't be limited. Don't think you can only just write down one result or one outcome for the quarter. Write them all out. You may not be able to do them all in this quarter. You can just roll them over into the next quarter because there's only so much time that we have. But let's get it out, okay? So what we're going to do now is number 5, because this is a bit of a session for you, is which goals, if accomplished, would make the biggest impact. Okay, so I'll just put biggest impact just to make it easier. But it'll be on your download, okay? Biggest impact. Okay, so exactly what it said. We've written out what the results are. Which are the goals that are going to have the biggest impact, though? So what you're actually going to do is you're actually going to extrapolate, withdraw, take out of those goals that you've actually put in your results for those quarter results or outcomes. You're actually going to get the most important ones out, and that's all I want you to focus on. Okay, is get those out, write it down. Number 6, we're nearly finished. You're like, gee, Tiff, I've got a lot to do here. Most important. So we've got biggest impact. Now we want the most important. So you know which ones are going to be the biggest impact. So the ones for me, the bigger impact ones for me is definitely launching the Get Focused program and the No Limits Academy, because that's what I'm really passionate about. So they're the ones that are going to make the biggest impact. The most important ones are those as well. Also my body weight and all of that kind of thing, I want to trim down a bit more. But those are the really most important ones out of everything. So we want to make sure that we're really clear. See how, again, we're breaking them down and making it more easy. And then this is the last one, number 7. Okay, what's the number 1 goal? What's number 1? We'll go, what's number 1 outcome or result for this quarter? Okay, outcome, result. So what is it? Oops, there's no number 1. It's this number, isn't it? Number 1. So number 1 outcome or result that you actually want to have accomplished in this quarter. So you've stripped it down to what the most important thing for you is. When you identify what that most important thing for you is, then we can create plans around that of what we've actually got to do. But it's all about getting clear, isn't it? Okay, so you've got some work to do. So with GPS week, get the family together, get the friends together, make it a party. Watch all these videos in one day if you want to. Leave it till the end of the week and do them all together, all in one hit. Up to you. But I want to give you that time throughout the week. So we're only doing 1 video a day so that you've given yourself some time to work through this. Put some music on in the background, listen to it, and then just start writing. Don't have your phone on. Or if you do, put it on airplane mode. Don't have any distractions. Give yourself some time to actually go and work on this. Okay, really, really important. So coming up in the next video is round 2, because we're still continuing on. We've made it through round 1 like we have in a tournament. Now we're going to progress into round 2, and what we're actually going to be doing in that is we're actually going to start identifying the problems, right? Our obstacles. We're going to start working through that. So I want you to dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams, share everything that you want to share down below, what you like best about what you saw today in this video, what you've actually identified, and I will see you in the next video. So you can see we've got a lot of work to do, haven't you? So it's pretty cool being behind the scenes, because I'm not going to share me talking to you and all of that kind of thing when I actually package this, because I will be packaging this whole GPS week and I will be selling it, but I'm doing the behind the scenes for free so that you can actually see that. So you got some work to do as well, haven't you? Let's get going. Dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for listening to today's episode. If you haven't yet downloaded the #1 deadly mistake athletes make sure you go to tiffany-mika.com and download the #1 deadly mistake athletes make. Share with me what you like best about what you heard in the comments section wherever you hear this episode. Share with your friends that you know that would benefit from these episodes, and please leave a 5-star review wherever you hear these episodes. I would really appreciate it. Dream big, believe in you, go after your dreams. Have an absolutely awesome day.